Hey guys, TRScientist here, and today I'm back in r/PettyRevenge for day number 27. We've literally got 5 days left. Oh my gosh, my neck is sore from all this reading. So let's get into it. I have 4 or 5 stories lined up. I don't know exactly just yet. First up, insist I'm in the wrong seat and refuse to move. I can play that game. I don't travel very often, and it's even more uncommon for me to fly. Therefore, when I do fly, I always like to get a window seat. So last week, when I was boarding my flight, I was frustrated when I came to my seat, and this lady was in my seat. She and her friend were sitting in the window and middle seat, while the aisle seat was open. Thinking she was just confused, I asked her, "Hey ma'am, I'm sorry, but I think you're in my seat." "This is my seat. You're reading it wrong." I'm in my early 20s and definitely have a baby face. I'm kind of mad now. And I go to show her my boarding pass. Actually, I have my ticket right here and it says, she interrupts me. "I do this way more than you do, kid. Sit down in your seat there." I am livid, but I don't want to hold the whole plane up, so I quietly sit down and simmer. While I'm sitting there, I overhear she and her friend mention how tight their connecting flight is in DFW, and how they're worried they won't get off the plane quick enough. Checkmate, you seat-jacking bitch. So I sit back and enjoy the flight. Anytime I want to look out the window, I careen over their laps in a way that is super uncomfortable for everyone, because I will be getting the view I paid for. Thank you very much. Then, when we land, I get my petty revenge. I take my sweet time getting my bag out from under my seat. Stand up slow and stretch, and insist that 2 rows behind us go before I do, seeing as the 2 worst players of aviation musical chairs in the nation can't get out until I do. Walk slow down the aisle, shake both flight attendants' hands on my way out. The girls ran out of there as soon as we rounded the corner. I felt great. So, I'm sorry, this is my seat because I didn't want to sit in the aisle seat. I wanted to sit in the window seat because I'm a little bitch. Oh no, I'm an older bitch, actually. So yeah, screw you. Second massive party in 3 months. Police called. Time to get petty. Hey guys, girls. Big setup for some petty revenge close to the end of this. It's been a little too quiet. There's a family who live 2 floors above me in an apartment block who have managed to piss off everyone by having a massive party that got out of control almost 3 months ago. I got home today around 5 PM from the gym and can hear them on the balcony making a lot of noise. I push it out of my mind and go about having a shower, making some dinner, making the dogs some dinner, watching a little Netflix, getting ready for an early flight, as I have to get up at 3 AM the next morning. I put some earplugs in, close my eyes, and drift off to sleep. Boom! A massive crash wakes me up. I sit bolt upright in bed and groggily check my phone. 10 PM. I made my way from the bedroom to the backyard. To get to my backyard, you have to open a big sliding glass door, which is also surrounded by floor-to-wall glass windows that allow me an unobstructed view of the backyard. I open the door and see a soccer ball sitting there and fresh imprint of the ball on one of my glass windows. Someone has thrown the ball down into the backyard. It ricocheted off the backyard wall that separated my yard from the street and hit my window at force. I look up at the noisy neighbours on their balcony, and there are 4 kids screaming at the top of their lungs, throwing various bits of debris into my yard. Plastic, bottles, a stray tennis ball. I yell at them, "Hey, be quiet, I'm trying to sleep!" The kids rush inside laughing. I go back inside only to hear them rush back out and continue throwing stuff into my yard and yelling. Fuming, I jump into the elevator and make my way up 2 flights and knock on the neighbor's door. I hear muffled voices giggle and say, "Shh, he's outside." More laughing, but the loud yelling and music continues. I knock again loudly. Nothing. I make my way back downstairs. Checking my phone, it's now getting close to 11 p.m. I call the police. I explain to the officer who answers about the noise level, the screaming kids, the fact they're throwing all types of stuff into my yard, potentially damaging my property. I also point out if he runs my name and address, he'll see previous complaints against these people. The officer confirms that he has seen several complaints from me and other tenants in the building. As he's looking up the past complaints, he asks, "Is that them?" He can hear the screaming and music. Yes! Officer, I'll send the car over right now. I sit back and wait, and wait, and wait. Check my phone, it's now 11:55 p.m. I go to the front security door and ring their buzzer. I can hear the obnoxious shrill buzzing reverberate in their apartment. A woman picks up. "Hello? Yeah, can you keep it down? It's almost midnight. Who is this?" "It doesn't matter, just keep it down, please." "Oh, okay." I sit and wait. Someone turns the music up louder. I ring their buzzer again. And again. A young male voice answers. "What? If you don't stop, next call is to the police. You can threaten us all you want. We don't care." "I'm not threatening. If you don't stop this, I'm calling the police. We have friends over. We are going to be as loud as we want for as long as we want." Frustrated, I go back down to my apartment, put on a movie and wait for the police. I'm startled awake by my own apartment buzzer. I walk over and answer it. It's the police. I look at the time. It's 1 a.m. I'm annoyed it's taken them so long and the neighbors upstairs are still raging on. I open the door and await the officers as they make their way down. Immediately they're sympathetic. They can see I'm exhausted and hear the noise. I explain everything to them. The male officer explains that even though they are owners, they need to abide by noise ordinance laws and also the bylaws of the building commission. He takes my statement, asks what apartment number they're in, bids me good night, and heads up to speak to them. I hear them knocking on their door. No answer. The police. It's the police. Open up. I hear the door open. Music is finally turned down, and what ensues is a 30-minute conversation of the neighbors saying that they are owners and can do whatever they want. The police quickly shuts them down, saying that they are disturbing the peace and violating other codes and laws. Finally, the police leave at 1:45 a.m. and they're silenced in the apartment block. Now for the petty revenge. 2 days later, I'm heading out to walk my dog and I can hear someone pressing a buzzer over and over again. I get to the front security door. It's the male that answered the buzzer that night, holding coffees, and has obviously locked himself out. He looks annoyed and has probably been out there for ages. He sees me coming and relief washes over his face. He'll be able to get through the locked security door as I make my way outside. Or so he thinks. I crack the security door open, let my dog go through first, and then I slip through quickly. He bends down to pick up a small bag of goods as he was about to walk through. And as he's about to walk through, I slam the security door, locking him outside. He stands there pissed. He stands there shocked and also pissed off. I smile down at my dog as we go for a very long walk. Take that, you jackass! Oh my gosh. How loud does it have to be to go down 2 floors of building? I mean, geez. How are none of the people in that apartment deaf? Co-worker said something horrible after friend co-worker dies, so I slowly drive her to quit. 6 years ago, working shitty job, friends with everyone except this one older woman. OW, who would make snide comments, call me and my friends young snotty bitches, YSB. I'm pretty sure broke into my phone when I left it in a company vehicle once. Supervisor S was awesome and hated her just as much as we did, but had to be professional. She was also romantically involved with her boss, B. As a result of a pre-existing medical condition, she passed away in the middle of the night. Oh. Supervisor was like a mentor and second mother, and I took her death really hard. So when I heard that OW was spreading rumors that it was B's fault that S died, it obviously wasn't. No one believed her, but I was furious she would say so. She would be so nasty to B so soon after the funeral, and I decided I was sick of her shit and her drama. So the other YSBs and I started to secretly drive her crazy. If she would talk, we would pretend we couldn't hear. We wouldn't acknowledge she existed. We would talk about anything other than work when we had to talk to her. She was bad at her job, and before we just put up with it, but now we were as condescending and belittling as you could be without being outright rude, so when she complained about us to B, he wouldn't have to reprimand us. Everything she used to say, we made a reality, and she couldn't say shit because we smiled and had a polite tone. I.e., I know how hard it is to remember, but you just have to make sure that when you do A, you do 1, 2, 3 first. Less than a week after S's funeral, OW walked off the job without a word to anyone. And an edit. Almost forgot, best part, we had a company carpool, and the morning after she walked off the job, we didn't know she quit yet and thought she just left in a half. Boss didn't bother calling to check up on her. Show up to pick her up, and she isn't coming out. So I call her, and she starts out all angry. I quit because you bitches. I cut her off and say, okay, good. Okay, sounds good. Have a good day. In my best customer voice, and hung up. Fuck her. Nice. Park your BMW like a prick? Well, two can play that game. Being a BMW driver, one of the things that irked me are others giving us a bad name. Sure, I enjoy an active driving style, but I use my blinkers and try not to park like a douche. Well, I normally try not to park like a douche. Drove down into the parking basement at work and noticed there was an available spot that most had given up due to the parking of the BMW X3 in the next slot over. Well, it should be more than enough room for a 5 Series next to it, right? I got in just fine, but was too close to the concrete pillar to walk out comfortably. I had to squeeze past it. Sod that, repositioned closer to the X3 and had all the space I wanted to get out. Left a nice margin to the parking line too. Sadly for the X3 driver, that didn't leave him much space. Petty, but I enjoyed it. Hey, nice. Do we have an image? Do we have an image of this crappy parking job? Oh, yes. Oh, you are. This is a perfect place for idiots and cars, I guess. Because, wow, dude. You're on the line. You're on the fucking line, man. The only way you're getting into your car is if you go through the passenger seat now. Last story. Someone who was not airing up their tyres parked in the air up your tyres spot at the gas station and was a major jerk when I asked them to move. My tyres are low on pressure, so I decided to head to the gas station to air them up. As I pull into the gas station, there is one parking spot specifically for people airing up their tires. It's one parking spot with crosswalk style paint on both sides, so you can have room to air up your tires. As I pull up to the compressor, there is a brand new Range Rover in the parking spot. I know he's not airing up his tires because those tires use nitrogen and even have the little N2 valve stem caps. Anyway, you never know what the story is, so I'm being reasonable about it. I waited a few minutes and the owner never returns to his car, so I went in the store. I politely asked the cashier, "Do you know who is driving the Range Rover out there?" as I point out the window. The Range Rover owner heard me and says, "What is the problem?" I said super politely, "Hey, I have to air up my tires. Would you mind moving your car so I can use the compressor? No rush though. I can wait until you're done." He replies, "Let me finish my purchase." The way he says it was kind of dickish. He has a straight look on his face the entire time. I head outside and wait for him by my truck. He finishes his purchase and heads out front where he runs into two of his friends. They all three start chatting and the guy doesn't seem to care about moving his car with any urgency. After a couple of minutes, I found this to be kind of rude, so I walk somewhat close to them and say, "Hey, sorry, can you move your car real quick?" He doesn't even look at me. He maintains eye contact with his friends and gives me the hand motion of shoo or go away. Pissed me off. I was triggered. I jump in my truck and pull it into the crosswalk painted portion where you air your tires. I turn on the compressor and pull the hose right over the hood of his Range Rover so it can reach my tires. He goes, "Hey, watch it." And I respond, super triggered, "Then move your fucking car." He replies, "I'll move my car when I feel like it." And then goes back to chatting with his two friends. As I'm airing up my tires, they wander to the side of the store, surveying a lot for sale next to the gas station. As I got in between my truck and his Range Rover to air my passenger side tires, I deflate his driver's side tires in parallel. They aren't flat, but low enough that he'll definitely be prompted with a low tire pressure message. I got in my truck and drove off while he was still talking with his buddies. I didn't get to see his reaction, but I'm sure everything will click as soon as he starts the engine and sees the message on his dash. Nice! That's just nice to do. Sorry for the interruption with the phone call. I probably won't edit it out. But it's just so good when you get someone with that and you don't even see the reaction. You don't get to see the reaction, but you know you messed with a person in the right way. That dude had no reason to be a jerk. All he had to do was move his car out of the way and continue talking with his friends. It's like he's probably figured, if I move, I'm just gonna keep driving. Anyways, links will be in the description to my main channel and the channel that you're on right now watching this video that has links on the screen to the playlist and the last episode. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video comes out. A ding, ding. The Mad Scientist out.